The center of that controversy, who was peppered with questions today when asked to explain why the numbers don't match. Watch.
Oh, you're going to have undervotes. You always have undervotes.
Okay, that race.
It may be that, and I don't know where the undervotes are right now. I haven't looked at a report.
Okay.
But there are always undervotes.
Well, it's just that when they look at the data, they say that a lot of people voted for governor and the AG, but then the Senate race was not calculated. So what could you attribute it to? People just not.
You know, I haven't talked to any voters about that, so I don't know. But we do see undervotes and overvotes as a regular part of the process.
Yeah, so that's pretty confusing. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, a Republican who was at today's protests and is calling for the removal of that woman who you just saw, the Broward County Supervisor of Elections, Brenda Snipes. Congressman, good to have you with us tonight. Thank you very much for being here. Why do you believe she needs to be removed from office?
Well, we have breaking news tonight, Martha. I'm here coming to you from what seems to be the Banana Republic of Broward County. Earlier today, just hours ago, a judge ordered Brenda Snipes to allow us to inspect records so that we could find out the total number of votes cast and the method of those votes, either early voting, voting by mail, or voting in person. That was supposed to be complied with by 7 o'clock. The reason you see a scrum over my shoulder, the lawyers for Brenda Snipes will not allow our team to come in and comply with the court order. That very same order, Martha, ruled that Brenda Snipes violated the Florida Constitution by not allowing access to these important records. So I suspect that late into the night, we will be drafting a motion for contempt, and we'll try to get a hearing either in the wee hours of the morning or tomorrow to hold Brenda Snipes in contempt. This is obviously a sufficient basis to suspend her from her position and to have the Secretary of State, who is the chief elections officer in Florida, confirmed by a bipartisan majority of the Florida Senate, put this office in a state of receivership, take over, and let's find out what the hell has happened in Broward County.
Well, that is very interesting, and she's had issues and controversies that she's been involved in the past, right?
That's right. In fact, in 2016, there was litigation demonstrating that Brenda Snipes actually destroyed ballots in a Democratic primary. So this is widespread incompetence. But it's one thing to be incompetent when no one's looking. It's quite another thing to have a judge say that you violated the constitutional rights of Floridians and then to subsequently not comply with that court order. This is outrageous. And if the governor is going to do his job, he needs to suspend her immediately. And let's get the chief elections officer of the state here. We still don't know on Friday, after a Tuesday election, how many votes were even cast in Broward County, and the law requires that disclosure.
Yeah, I mean, it's really remarkable. And so far this evening, we've been watching, the lawyers go back and forth and the judges make their decisions. And as you point out, they did decide that there could be an actual count to figure out how many the total is and where these other votes appear to be coming from. For Bill Nelson, Mark Elias is working with him. He's obviously involved in a lot of Democratic politics. Tell me what his role is, in your understanding, in this situation.
Well, Elias did not say we're coming here to effectuate the statutory permissible recount. He said we're coming here to win the election. The thing is, the election's over. The votes have already been cast. Ron DeSantis was elected governor. Rick Scott was elected senator. I fear, Martha, this may be the new strategy of the resistance. They disrupted town halls. We passed tax reform anyway. They thought there was going to be a blue wave. Here in Florida, that wave was met by a red wall. And so now they're trying to steal elections that they can't win on Election Day.
Senator Marco Rubio from Florida tweeted this picture today. We showed it a little while ago, but it was reported by a paper, I believe it was the Sentinel in Florida, that showed boxes that are said to contain ballots that are, just sitting there. Obviously, every vote has to match up to a real person. Martha. I mean, in the end, every vote's got to match up to a real person who actually voted on Election Day, right?
Right, and you've got to be able to reconcile the ballots. A specific number of ballots was sent to every precinct. And in every other county in Florida, we know how many of those ballots were voted and how many of them were returned blank because someone didn't vote them. But in Broward County, we still don't know the answer to that. That's what makes fraud available. Directly beside me, there is a truck, and there was stuff being loaded on and off of it. Several people tried to take video of that, and armed security guards backed us off of the truck so that we weren't able to get an accurate recording of what was happening. So this is the type of activity that erodes our confidence in the process. No surprise, this is a supervisor of elections that has demonstrated incompetence and violations of the law before. The question is this: is Rick Scott going to continue to sit on his high horse, or is he going to suspend her as the governor and install a non-biased Secretary of State so that we can get accurate counts of these ballots?
All right. Thank you very much, Congressman Gaetz. Good to see you tonight.